Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be featuring a sneak peek of a brand new set coming to the Essentials by Ellen line. It's called Love You So and it features brush script lettering. And to set off the lettering, I wanted to create kind of a geometric background. So I used a 1-inch square punch and a piece of vellum to create a row of squares, and then I'm just going to line it back up and trace it again to create a grid pattern. And then I'm using a white eraser to diminish those pencil lines because I don't want them to show up on the finished project, but I just need a guideline I can see. They probably don't show up that well on camera, but it's okay because I can see them. And I'm going to be using the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors. These are just such luxurious watercolors. They're so creamy and yummy. And I made a color palette there so I could kind of reference what they look like on watercolor paper. And I keep that inside the box there when I store them. Now I'm just transferring some of the color with a water brush to my craft mat, and I'm just going to use that as a palette there for diluting the colors. And as I started to fill in my squares, and here you can see, you can't see the pencil lines, but I can see them. I realized the color was going to be too intense and I wanted it a little bit more washed out. So I'm going to finish coloring it, and then I'm going to take a piece of a clean paper towel and just blot away the excess there. And here you can see I watered down the color a little bit more, and now I've got the intensity I want, and I can go back in and repaint that original square. Then I'm just going to finish painting all the squares, so I've got a nice 6-square grid there going on, and then I'm going to heat set it with my heat gun because I wanted to keep going, and I need those colors to be dry before I add the next color. So I took that pretty red in the upper right or upper left corner and added that to my craft mat, and then diluted it again with some water from my water brush. And then I'm going to take a fresh brand new pencil eraser and start creating these dots going over the top. This is kind of almost an abstract kind of background effect. But as I was going, I realized that the color was too watered down. I was not going to get as much intensity and contrast as I wanted. So I'm going to use the same trick and take the corner of my tissue there and just wick up the excess water. And I added more paint color to the palette and didn't dilute it down with as much water so that I could go back over the top of the original dots and then keep going and adding more to create my little abstract pattern. This is my attempt at abstract art. I can't get too complicated. This is about as simple as I can get. So now when this is done, again, I'm going to heat set it, and then I'm going to use some archival jet black to ink up my sentiment. And this one says, "You are my favorite." I love that sentiment. And I've always wanted to have it in a fun stamp, and I thought the brush script lettering would look really cool. So that's part of the set called Love You So. And there is a set of hearts in different sizes in that set. So I'm just going to take this one, which is kind of also a brush stroked heart, and just stamp that down there. And then I can watercolor it because I stamped it with archival jet black, which is bleed proof, and then I can just come in with the rest of that red paint I still have on that palette and color that in really quick. And I love the irregular effect of the watercolor. I don't like it to be perfect. I love that painterly look. And then I'm going to add just a little bit more interest by making a teeny tiny pin dot line going across the horizontal plane there with my Tim Holtz ruler and one of those Faber-Castell bullet nib markers. And then I trimmed off the excess around the outer edges so that it was about a 1/2 inch all around smaller. So this panel is about 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches in size. And then I'm just going to mount it to a Neenah Solar White. This is heavyweight, and I just covered the whole back there with adhesive so it would lay down nice and flat. I think an abstract background like this is a great way to showcase a brush script sentiment, and I'm so excited to share more with you. Look for the new stamps and dies coming February 23rd to Ellen Hutson LLC, and thanks for watching.